The WM. Yes, the Revolutionary Pan-African Fast. What are we up to? We up to the... I don't know how this got in my hotel room. I don't know how this got in my hotel room because I know I didn't stop at McDonald's. I don't know how this got in my hotel room because I know I did. The W in Wisconsin stands for white supremacy. The W in Wisconsin stands for white supremacy.
You like sniffing panties, you need some help, my brother. If you run around sniffing women's panties, my brother, you have a serious sexual problem. We need to get you seen immediately. In fact, I'm going to 302 your thirsty ass to the closest mental health hospital. Where you at, my brother? I need you, brother, to stop worrying about the sweat running down another man's face. We need some testosterone shots. See, this is why the sisters ain't giving y'all no peach cobbler. This is why a lot of you ninjas don't get any peach cobbler. Sisters, keep... Why can't she have a virtual moment with King Kong consciousness? And if she 5'5" thick in the thighs. And if she 5'5" thick in the thighs. And if she 5'5" thick in the...
Okay. Hey, Josh, how you doing? What's going on, Josh? What's going on? You know what? I cannot find what I'm really looking for here. Oh, maybe I have to do this.
I'm flirting with 35 to 55ers. When I flirt with the queens, that's for 35 to 55ers, okay? If you're not 35 to 55, the flirting is not for your young, thirsty ass. Listen, I need one of my 35 to 55ers to come wipe the sweat off the king. When I flirt with the women, I'm flirting with 35 to 55ers. When I flirt with the queens, that's for 35 to 55ers, okay? If you're not 35 to 55, the flirting is not for your young, thirsty ass. Listen, I need one of...
Can we please listen to some Freddie Jackson while I massage your back? No, thank you, sister. I'm in teacher mode right now, sister. Don't distract me with the lower chakras. This is not about the lower chakras, sister. You cannot rub my back while we listen to Freddie Jackson. And I don't even listen to Freddie Jackson, but no, we can't do that, my sister. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. This is not the time for procreation. Can we please listen to some Freddie Jackson while I massage you?
Lord have mercy. I might just stay single. I don't know if I'm gonna get married. I'm happy being alone. I think I'm done. I can't see me. I ain't putting up with all this. Lord have mercy.
But the caterpillar's third eye was blocked. I said the caterpillar's third eye was blocked. The caterpillar was caught up in social media. The caterpillar was caught up on fat asses, small waists, and big titties. The caterpillar was caught up on Shango sticks and a big paycheck. Caterpillar was caught up on cruises and vacations and getting drunk and smoking weed and running out in the streets and hanging with the homies. The caterpillar was caught up in everything except perfecting the divine nucleus. But the
First, we got a Neanderthal in here. No Neanderthals. First, we got a Neanderthal in.
New year 2021, we coming in hard, brothers and sisters. Never mind the negative. Never mind the coon. Never mind the Negro. Never mind that African who is possessed with a European soul. Never mind those he's and she's who are working against the yous and me's. Never mind the he's and she's that are working against the yous and me's. New year.
But just as when you go to the grocery store and you don't find the product that you want, you sometimes have to settle for a bootleg, generic, no-frills version of what you really want. So when Dr. Claude Anderson is not available, you end up with a Dr. Sister Joyce Watkins. And when Dr. Umar Johnson is not available, you end up with a metrosexual movie maker in Goddess Nashida. So beware of bootleg scholarship.
Black man,
I'm telling my brothers right now, listen to me, black men. You got to get right with yourself sexually. Black men, listen to me. I'm talking to all my unapologetically African alpha males. I'm talking to all my unapologetically African alpha males. Black men,
I love this.
Stop deceiving your women. Stop manipulating your women. Stop using your women. Stop abusing your women. This is the time to be exposed. If you got 5 queens, let them know I got 5 queens. I still love you. Are you staying or are you leaving? Are you staying or are you leaving? Get right with your queens. I need you to get right with your queens. Some of them won't mind because they know that they sharing anyway. Woo! Get right with your queens, my brother. Black men.
Oh my goodness, what did I do? I done messed up. Oh my goodness, I messed up. Oh, I messed up. Where was I at? There's some good stuff. Let me see.
Black man, you can't put on your favorite Speedos and some Timberlands like you used to when you used to go to the gym getting it in. When you was in college, you show up to her dorm room in some Speedos and some Timberlands. And that was enough when you was in college, Black King. That was enough when you was in college, Black King. But you 40 years old now. You ain't got that 6-pack no more. You 40-year-old now. You got man boobs now, my ninja. You got man boobs now, my ninja. You're going to have to take her to the lake, lay her down on a soft bed at the river, and give her a full body massage. That's how you're going to get that Yoni-verse out of park now. That Yoni-verse ain't getting out of park just because you showed up with a beer gut and your favorite Spider-Man Speedos on and them fake Tims. That's not going to work no more, ninja.
Okay.
Black man,
Dr.
you
Umar.
can't put on your... Now, while I'm waiting for my food to come here, while I'm waiting on my ATL dinner before I go to bed tonight, shout out to all my ATL queens. I'm sleeping alone tonight, ladies. I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm sleeping alone tonight, ladies. I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm not going to no clubs, no bars, because there's too many 5'5" thick in the thigh queens here in Atlanta. I'm not leaving, because if I go out, I'm going to end up coming back with some Cinnabons, and I'm not trying to do that tonight. I'm not trying to do that tonight. I'm not trying to do that tonight. Now, if I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm lying, you slept with that woman's husband, pull up to a job and apologize. Pull up to her job today and say, sister, you don't know me, but I got to tell you something. I was with your husband, and I knew he was married to you. And I was in a state of weakness. I was in a state of sin. I was in a state of thirst. I was in a state of need, and I was wrong because I did not have your permission. I should have came to you like a woman and asked you, would you entertain a plural marriage with your husband because I need a man? That's what I should have done. But I went behind your back and allowed your husband to clap cheek without your permission. Lord. I went behind your back and allowed your husband to wax Cinnabon without your permission. I went behind your back and gave your husband some of my cookies and peach cobbler without your permission. And I just want to say I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry, and I will never contact him again, and I will never let him contact me again. And I would pray that you keep this between us. You have to go on up and go over to the brother and say, listen, King. And what y'all fail to realize is when I decide it's time to collect karma, I could give a damn about what your plans are. When I decide it's time to collect karma, I could care less about what you're working on. When I decide it's time for your selfish, narcissistic, ungodly ass to pay up, I will send the ancestors to collect. I will send the Orisha to collect. I will send the Loa to collect. I will send the angels of the Bible. I will send the angels of the Quran. I will send the angels of the Torah to come and collect. You don't tell me.
Well, I got some. I need them sent a couple of places. I would like him to be sent a couple of places on behalf of me. How y'all doing? What's going on, everybody? Oh my goodness, he is look. I just found out. I just found him 2 months ago, and once I started watching videos, all of his stuff just pops up now. I mean, videos from 10 years, 12 years. Let me tell y'all something. This man is so smart. He spits things off, and he doesn't miss a beat. I don't know if he don't stutter. He does not stutter. He spits it off, and he knows what he's talking about. I look some of it up to make sure. Because, folks saying that I'm just gullible and I'm just over here. No. It's the truth.
It's time for you. Who do you think I am, little girl? You don't talk to me like that. I made you. You didn't make me. Who you think you talking to? Who do you think I am, little girl? You don't talk to me like that. I wake up the lion, please.
Make her think she got the keys to the kingdom.
Wait a minute.
Wake up the lion. Please don't wake up the lion, because you're not built like that, family. You're not built like that.
He's a Leo, and so am I.
Wake up the lion, because you're not built.
Make her think she got the keys to the kingdom. Okay? Don't make her think you've given her these keys if you ain't giving her them keys. Be clear, sister. I like you. We dating, but I haven't chosen you yet. I haven't chosen you yet. Let them know you have not been chosen. You do not have those privileges. Sit your ass down and be content with where we at. Make her think she got the keys to the kingdom.
Sit your arse down.
Don't.
And that's a contradiction amongst black men, because every black man wants a woman who know how to get her freak on, but he don't want to show her how. You notice that, brothers? Most brothers want that queen coming in like a can of sardines. They want her freak already packaged. They just want to open up the pack and get all the freak out, right? That's how brothers is. That's how we don't want to have to show her how. We want her to know how, but we don't want her to have no history. Look at that contradiction. Let me say it again. Brothers want a woman who know how to do everything.
Did y'all hear that? Quaker Grits is $20 million a year off black folks. Quaker Grits. Can I have your grit money for 1 year? Give me your grit money for 1 year, and I will build 10 schools across this country. Give me your grits. Give me your Quaker.
Okay, so, and I'm gonna, you know what? That channel is called No Cut. I don't know. It's like they've just condensed some of his from his live, some of his funniest excerpts and things of that nature. But it's him. I mean, it's those videos are actually him, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, let me see. Hey, Josh, how you doing? You are first. Yes, you are. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Smitty, what's going on? Amada, talk that talk, Dr. Umar. He be talking that talk, and I think he walks that walk. I do. I've been watching his videos. I mean, and I went back and from like 20, he's saying the same thing. He's been consistent. He has not yielded. He has not changed. It's consistent. Hey, Kizzy, how you doing? Kizzy's in the building. Thank you for stopping by. She's welcoming everybody. Look, guys, please thumbs up this video. We're not going to be here long. I just want to review a quick video. I was going to do another video tonight. His first live, because I was watching him on Nick Cannon, and I think Nick asked him something like, when did this all start or whatever, and he said it can be traced back to 2010, I think, when he was in Chicago, when he was called to Chicago to do an interview. I got brothers in Chicago. Shout out to the Chi-Town. And so I went and found that video and I watched it. Y'all, have you ever did something, watched something, ate something, and you just felt something come over you? You just feel, I'm not making this up. I am starting to see things in a different light, even with the things I've when it comes to YouTube. I know some of you may not believe me. He is a comedian on the low. That's how Leos are. That's how we roll. The knowledge is there, but we missing actions from him. It's a lot I can say about this topic. You know, I know a lot of people like to say that, where's the school? Where's the school? Blah, 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 blah. If you're constantly being attacked and people are told, don't give him any money, don't support that school, it's not going to, when he clearly has several buildings that he has purchased and renovated, but there's still things that need to be done. But when everyone is coming against you or coming at you, the more you try to climb, they come and try to pull you down. He's right. There's no Black institutions, no Black schools that has been opened by anyone. He is the only one trying to do it. I made sure I wanted to check this out before I started. You know, he's telling the truth. But my thing is, why are so many people against it? And donate to the FDMG, donate to the school, donate to the academy, donate if you can. Kizzy, would you please drop his PayPal donation link in the chat if you can? I say donate if you can. I mean, how can he get it completely finished and open if people are steady talking about him day in and day out? I'm talking doing videos in with thousands of people in their chat. Can you imagine what it's like to have 1,400, 500 people live and someone's just dragging your name, and you don't do that to them, but they do that to you? You don't do that to them, but they do that to you. But that's okay, right? That's okay, right? You think that's okay, right? 1,500, 1,400 people dragging one person, everybody in the chat cheering it on, blah, blah, blah. And this man is trying to open up a school. And I have watched videos with him talking about ADHD, just things that he is telling the truth about, serious stuff. And all people can think about is, where's the school? Oh, that school don't have no lights. You know what? Okay, let me get to the video that I want to review. This is totally not even dealing with this right here, but it's him. It popped up, and honey, I tell you, I just I wanna review it. Hold on a second. All right, I found the video. Okay. So this video is, look, it's 2 years old, but I just saw it. And look, I'm going to say this. Welcome to the channel, Eat with Philip Talk Show and More. It's a variety channel. Lately, I've been focusing on a lot of Dr. Umar's works and speeches and videos because I agree with them. I agree with most of it, okay? Sometimes you can't agree with every 100%. Now, you got to be your own self. But for the most part, I do agree with the things and his works, okay? The things that he's championing for. So here, 2 years ago, a pastor was robbed while in the church in the pulpit, I guess. Oh, I think, what does this thing say for it was like $500,000. I don't know. Let's just get into it because Dr. Umar broke it down. He broke it down. I know it's been 10 years for the school, but we need more money. Donate, donate, donate. There's still work to be done. There is. And when he's trying to do something and people are steady pulling him down and dragging his name and making people not want to donate, it's a setback. But it's a setback for a big old fat comeback. It's a setback for a hell of a comeback. Who wouldn't want there to be a school for young Black men to be nurtured and taught and, Black queens forever? Okay, let's get into this video right here.
Church. A pastor was robbed today of nearly $500,000 in jewelry as he gave his Sunday sermon. There were Black women in there. There were Black children in there. There were Black.
And let me say this. I belong to a missionary Baptist church. And, you go into church and there's no guards at the door. We just go in and everybody's just sitting there, and we walk around, we put money in, they backing up, they pass baskets around, So it's really open season for people to come in if you don't have security. But let's listen to Dr. Umar.
Elders in there. There were Black men in there. Here's what I want to say to the Black church. I hope every pastor is listening. If you went to church today, call your pastor and tell him he needs to turn on King Kong consciousness right now.
If y'all went to church today, did your church have security?
Message for the Black church tonight. First of all, I am happy that the pastor and his family are safe. I am happy that the congregation at their Brooklyn church is safe. I am happy that it appeared by the video that I was sent that nobody was harmed during the course of the Brooklyn robbery inside that Brooklyn church today. And I'm happy that those brothers who robbed the pastor did not injure anyone, did not harm anyone. Thank you, brothers, for that. There were children there. There were women there. You still had no right to pull out guns in the presence of our women and children, but I am still thankful you didn't hurt anybody. But here's what I want to say. In 2015, Dylan Roof walked into Mother Emanuel Church in South Carolina and murdered 9 Africans, including 6 mothers. Dylan Roof walked into a church in Charleston, South Carolina.
Y'all remember the little young white guy went into the church. He befriended them, and the church is so opening and wanting everyone to come in and be like, oh, we love everyone. And he murked them. He murked them all. And they put him in the car and took him to McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King to get him something to eat after he had murked 9 people. Now, do y'all understand where Dr. Umar is coming from? I don't think y'all do. Y'all need to listen.
Emanuel and murdered 9 Africans, including 6 mothers. I'm trying to understand why we still have Black churches who don't have security. I'm trying to understand why we have Black churches that still don't have armed guards. I'm trying to understand why we still have Black churches who are living
in some sort of imaginary fairy tale where they don't think that the safety of their congregation is in danger because they claim to be doing God's work. The black church, every black church, mega church, small church, medium church, you need a security force. You need a security team. You need regular armed guards. That robbery in Brooklyn was too easy. That robbery in Brooklyn was too easy.
Yes, that robbery, for them to just go in that church and do that. Happy us black folk have the crabs in a barrel mentality. We have to do better. You know, black folks, we are always against each other. You can just start right here with social media. You can start right here with social media. You can start right here with social media. Shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. You can start right here and see how people are dragging women, black women dragging black women, black men coming after black men. Going after black men with degrees, men that know what they're talking about. When anybody, but when a man can sit up and spit stuff out, just bam, 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 and not miss a beat, and it's facts. You got to show some respect. You need to show some respect, in my opinion. But this is my channel, and this is just my little opinion. Okay? But I'm going to tell y'all something. Dr. Umar Johnson he's like a walking encyclopedia dictionary when it comes to black history, Pan-Africanism, Africans. He say he's been everywhere. Me, I'm too afraid to fly to do that. But he say he's been somewhere, and he's a citizen of Ghana. And I'm saying this because I have been watching his videos, and what he's saying is the truth. What he's been saying is the truth. And sometimes people will just be jealous of you. They will.
The murder of Dylan Roof's murder of our elders in Charleston, South Carolina was too easy. Why do we still have churches?
Thank you, Kizzy.
Without security? Why do we still have black churches were bombed and burned to the ground for nearly 400 years? Black churches were bombed and burned to the ground for nearly 400 years. You got white folk running into black churches, killing black folks. Black pastors were some of the original Africans to be hanged first because they were some of the most literate. So the black clergy was always a target of white supremacy. The black clergy was always a target of white supremacy.
Now, see, this is what I'm talking about when he starts speaking and just giving us facts on history. And I know some people will be like, why is he talking about that? You need to know where you come from before you can get to where you really need to go and be. I'm not as eloquent as him, but you need to know your past, your history. You do. And take that blonde hair out your head. Okay.
I'm trying to understand. In 21st century America, how can you be a black church in 21st century America and you don't have no security? Can somebody help me understand, and understand how a black church in 21st century America?
Oh, we have a op, but I'm not going to delete them or block them. I'm not going to send them to whatever forever because that's my brother. And he happens to disagree with me on Dr. Umar. But let me tell you one thing about, shout out to my beautiful snow bunnies. Dr. Umar doesn't hate any race. He can conversate and speak with and dialogue with and have panels with any race. That's the good thing. He doesn't hate anyone. He just believes in his people and want to see us, including you're an African, do better. Hey, Unspoken, how you doing? Hey, PB and Mars, you are coming with the Umar content. The man knows it. Yes, he does know his history. Thank you. Unspoken, he does. He truly does. And I have been watching and studying. I've been watching videos. And there's so many. And they're so good. And I've been learning things. I mean, I feel like I've been missing out. We got a bunny hopper. Trust me, he might be a bunny hopper, but just not the kind of money you think. But no. What is he talking about? Black churches do have security. He ain't said nothing that not always been said. You know, some churches do not. That church didn't have no security. They went in there and took that pastor's $500,000. Well, let me let Dr. Umar tell you what happened. Let me let the Prince of Pan-Africanism tell you what happened. Did I say that right? Let me let him tell you. Okay. Let me just let him speak. He speaks, you know, hey, I do no justice here. Let me let him do it.
Doesn't have security. I have security everywhere I go. And I know my people love me, but there's always a few who don't. So if I have security as one man wherever I go, if I have security as one man wherever I go, if you have a whole church where you collecting money and you showing off materialism, why in the hell do you think you are safe from danger? And I got news for the Black church. And I don't wish no harm on no church, no pastor, no congregation, but I got news for the church. The Black church is the new bank in the Black community. I said the Black church is the new bank in the Black community. What I mean by that, these young brothers who have grown up poor, unemployed, public assistance, father in jail, mother on drugs, or mother doing her best, but she can't make all the ends meet. These young men out here struggling in the ghettos of Black America who have sat by and watched Black pastors get rich off the poverty pennies of their grandmothers. These young Black men are sick and tired of
now y'all know
of watching
Black pastors. Well, you know, look, and I belong to a Southern Missionary Baptist church. Y'all know them pastors be driving around them Cadillacs, this, that, and the other. And their wives have all of the hats. They have every hat. They have every hat that's ever been made. And there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, right? But Dr. Umar is telling the truth, is all I'm trying to say. I love Dr. Umar, so I want him to show his haters different by opening the school and moving forward, helping young Black men. And he will. But it's hindering him when people are steady telling people, don't donate. It's never going to happen. When there's and there's no school, it's overrun by weeds. When you can clearly see the school is there, it looks nice, but it takes a lot to open a school. I've never opened a school. Have any of you ever done it? At least he's trying. Do you know how many rich African American people there are out there that could do this with just the snap of a finger? But here he is having to try and do it just on the backs, and which is a good thing. It's totally, you know, it's just, hey, it's just the people doing it. It's the people. So no one can come in and try and take over and control anything. It's his is his. It was his idea, and then it's for the people. Does that make sense? I wish he was passionate about making a relationship with his daughter. I'm just saying. Well, when your daughter calls you a bitch, I don't think I'd want to make a relationship either. I'm just saying. He gets props for talking about Marcus Garvey and John whomever, who fought to get Haiti free. Haiti is first black country to break from slavery, 1804. You know, he knows, this man knows his history. You can say whatever you want about him, but I bet nobody on the YouTube streets that come for him could stand up and go toe to toe with him for 5 minutes. They could never. They could never. They could never. I mean, okay, let me just play the video because I'll get to talking, and I want you guys to hear this because it's only 33 minutes, and then I don't want to be here all night.
Black pastors and black bishops and black preachers get rich off the poverty pennies of their mothers and grandmothers, and now these young black men are beginning to turn on the one institution that was always sacred ground for Black America. I said these young brothers are going to start robbing churches now.
So let me tell you guys. So what he's reacted to a church being robbed. This video is 2 years old. A church being robbed in Harlem, I think, by some young black men. And he's saying how, you know, the grandmothers and the mothers and the elders, you know how people, oh, it's the pastor's anniversary. I got to give to the pastor's anniversary. My light bill due, but I got to give to the pastor's anniversary. Y'all know it happens. But you know, it's their money because like I donated to the academy. People gonna do what they want to do with their money. But he's saying that these pastors have been getting rich off the backs of poor black people. Well, I'm going to let him tell y'all. I'm not going to speak for him. I'm going to let him tell you.
They are going to start robbing churches. This I fear, and I don't want this. I don't want this, but I have to tell the truth. I don't believe this is the last time we're going to see a church robbed by young black brothers. I don't think this is going to be the last time we see a church get robbed by young black brothers. The black church is the new bank. I said the black church is the new bank. And if you are a black church and you collecting money and you showing off your watches and showing off your Mercedes and showing off your Benz and showing off your $1,000 suit, and you black women coming in there with your $500 hairstyles and your $1,000 high heels,
they better go to dealers when they have that big sale and get them for 75% off. But look, y'all know that some churches, I'm gonna keep it 100. You know, some churches is a fashion show. You know, they come in there, baby. They dress down, and you know, it's certain folks in the church that you know they got perks. They gonna be over this committee, that committee. You're not gonna stand a chance if you happen to join the church in good faith and you just want to do. You might want to work in the kitchen or whatever, but you know, it's the people that you know. It's just a racket. Okay. I'm digressing. I love Umar. Okay, I read that. I wish he was passionate about. I read that. He gets props for talking about Marcus Garvey. Okay, I read that. Yes, he knows his stuff. He's trying to give to other children what he didn't give to his. The thing is, people like to say that he's a deadbeat father and he didn't take care of his children. When I think some people just, they can't, I don't know if it's something wrong with their brains or they don't understand the definition of, because you need cash, you need money to survive and to support. So if someone takes care and pays child support for 18 years straight, to me, that's dedication and that's support. But I'm not here to talk about, how he was in his daughter's life, the oldest daughter, for 10 years or better. And then, how she texts him for the last 12 years, but never, ever want to meet up, allegedly. That's his version. But she's 22. You can go to his Instagram channel, and he has, I'm going to show y'all. You know what? Showing is better. Let me just show y'all. Hold up. Let me show y'all. I want to show you. Let me see if I can find something that I can show you what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's better to show. It's better to show. Okay, and I'm going to come back to that video. So I'm going to stop sharing that video, and I'm going to present, and I'm going to share this right here. So if anyone wants to see Dr. Umar, Dr. Umar returns to Newark Wednesday, April the 23rd from 1 to 5. Okay. Dr. Umar, Saturday, April the 26th, 6 p.m. until in Shelton, Connecticut. Dr. Umar returns to Columbus, Ohio, Sunday, May 25th. The Ohio Black Expo Riverfront Culture. I'm going to go to one of these guys. I'm going to meet Dr. Umar, and I'm going to shake his hand, and I'm going to tell him how awesome I think that he is. So, and right here, Dr. Umar returns to Chicago, June the 10th. Oh, I'm calling my brother Dave. 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. Community conversation on African-centered education. I'm going to Chicago. This is in June. It's a Dom Perignon. So look, don't tell me. Oh, I got excited. I hit the wrong button. Okay, I hit the wrong button. Dr. Umar lets you know where he's going to be. So if anyone wants him, all you got to do is step to him. And he does have security, so don't get it twisted. He's not like the church, baby. He got security. So he has his full, and let me say it for some agenda, his itinerary, the things he's going to do is listed on his Instagram, step by step. And I hope Little Rock can get added to that one day soon. But so don't tell me. Here's the host. Okay. All right. Now let me get back to the other video that I was, his video about the church being robbed in broad daylight, I guess. All right, here we go.
I don't want no harm to come to nobody in my family. I love all my people. Christian, Muslim, Jehovah's Witness. I love my people. But what I'm telling you is these young brothers are sick and tired of watching the black church rob black people blind. I'm not saying this pastor was guilty of that. I'm not saying this pastor is guilty of that. I don't know that church. I don't know that pastor. For all I know, that could have been a very down-to-earth church that did not take in a lot of revenue. I cannot pass judgment on that pastor. And I'm glad he is safe, and his wife is safe, and his congregation is safe. And I'm glad those young brothers exercised enough discipline not to harm nobody. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the black church. You cannot talk about you are doing God's work. How in the hell are you doing God's work when you have a church in the ghetto? You are expecting poor mothers and grandmothers in the ghetto to donate to your church.
Tell it, Dr. Umar. Tell it.
And then you take this money that comes to you from poor black women in the ghetto, and you don't use none of that money to rebuild the ghetto. You don't use none of that money to empower the ghetto.
That's okay. His phone fell, but you know what? He is speaking truth to power. Wait a minute, let me see. His daughter is a drama queen. I do understand the whole situation. I can always blame Umar for many reasons because he is a father, but I think the daughter, she talks crazy sometimes. You know, to me, that's personal. That's their family thing, but I know she brought it out here. But whatever is going on with him and his daughters, or whatever baby mamas, it doesn't change the fact of what he believes in and what he's fighting for, and the works that he's doing, opening the school, talking to the young black community, uplifting the young black community week after week. This man is booked and busy every weekend. He's not sitting on the internet on YouTube dogging another black brother or sister out every day just for fun. He's not doing it. He's out here uplifting people. I donated to. Oh, I saw that. Are you angry, sis, because they didn't make you head cook? Stop making everything so personal. Money, isn't it? Sis, you're choking from a hurt place. If you could, so totally not hurt about anything. See, me and Dr. Umar, we're different when it comes to that. He's going to. I wouldn't give a rat's tail what somebody said. What happened to the whole? Oh, I'm back. I hit the wrong button. I got excited. You know, when Dr. Umar starts dropping that knowledge, sometimes I get a little excited and I hit the wrong button. The churches in Detroit have security. No one but the pastor is running away with that bag. Wish I could sniff your warm. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that. You know what? This is a serious topic over here. Don't come over here. At ease.
You don't use none of that money to employ our children. You don't use none of your Jesus money.
What?
You are not using Jesus's money to serve Jesus's children. You are buying homes in white neighborhoods. You buying airplanes. You going on fancy vacations. You Negroes are driving Mercedes Benzes, Cadillac trucks, BMWs. You are.
Now, y'all know some of them pastors be flying airplanes and they want to be pilots and all this, that, and the other, rather than saving souls like they're supposed to be doing. When I say, my only thing is Dr. Umar is telling the truth. He's speaking the truth. Now, just because you may be jealous of him and you're a little envious of him, don't try to discredit his works and his knowledge and his education. Because the man is educated and he knows what he's talking about. All you have to do is go listen to some of them Breakfast Club's interviews. I've watched them. I had never seen them up until recently. Charlamagne and that other guy. I mean, they just sit and listen. It's like they're in awe listening to him. He's making me read. Well, never mind.
Are wearing $5,000 suits, $2,500 suits, $1,000 suits. You wearing $100,000 watches.
Why?
I'm not saying anybody should be robbed. I am not saying anybody should be robbed. I'm saying if you are bold enough to walk into a black ghetto, claim you are about the community, If you are bold enough to walk into a black ghetto and claim you are about the community, drive an expensive luxury car, wear luxury clothes, luxury watch, luxury shoes.
But why does a pastor have on a freaking $500,000 Rolex or $100,000? Why do you need a Rolex on? Why do you need a Rolex watch on? Donate some of that money to the FDMG Academy.
And you claim to be doing the Lord's work, and we don't see the community benefiting at all.
Nope.
We don't see the community benefiting at all.
No, we don't.
We don't see the black community benefiting at all from the money that the black church takes from the ghetto. I hate to say it. We are in an economic crisis. We are in an economic crisis. And these young black brothers in our cities are sick and tired of watching the pastor live high up on the hog while he struggles. Black churches, please get you some security. Black churches, please get you some security. Black churches, please get you some security. And I want to say this. I'm talking to my beautiful black women. I'm talking to my church-going sisters, my church-going mothers, my church-going queen mothers. Listen to me, ladies. Listen to your brother, Dr. Umar. If you go to a church that does not have security, if you go and worship at a church where there is no security, if you go and worship at a church that doesn't have any armed guards, you go to a church that doesn't have a security force, don't go back to church no more. Find you another church. You cannot afford to be traumatized, beaten, or robbed at gunpoint because your pastor isn't security conscious. Black woman, listen to me. There were children in that church in Brooklyn today. There were children in that church in Brooklyn today.
So this happened in Brooklyn. I think I said Harlem earlier by mistake. Let me correct that. It was in Brooklyn, and it was 2 years ago, but I just saw this video today. I was going to review an entirely different video, but this popped up earlier tonight. So the church was robbed in Brooklyn, the pastor, of $500,000 in jewelry and stuff. He had on a Rolex watch. Now, I'm not saying the pastor can't, but you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. I was looking at another video where Dr. Umar was talking and he was explaining to some, it was on the Breakfast Club. And he was just saying, you know, how white people, they will be so rich and you will never know. You just won't know that they have all that money because they're just, but you have a black person, they got all, they want to get the fanciest car with the biggest tires, the biggest rim. They want to get all of the fancy clothes, the fancy shoes, the Gucci's, the Coaches, the whatever. And boast about it. And like he said, it's a conditioning from all of the years of oppression where, you know, black women, you know, he's like, you know, why do black women want to just, you know, why do they want to get all of that, you know, why would you bleach your skin and put, when you're dark as me, my color, and you want to put a blonde wig on your head? Ain't nobody my color gonna have no blonde hair. You're gonna look ridiculous to me. But it's a conditioning of being told you're ugly, you're not worthy, this, that, and the other, over all of those hundreds of years. And then the black man, and I've said this before I started following Dr. Umar. Black men would have to witness the master come in and go down Slave Row or whatever and yank their women out of the bed and take them and have their way. So it's a conditioning. And now so many black men, why do they want white women? Because it's been passed on. It's just in their blood where their daddies and their grandfathers and the great, their women was taken by the master and they did what they wanted, and was raped, whatever. And, babies were produced. That's why you have so many light skin, it's all a mixture. But it's not their fault. But the man, he want, well, I want to get their woman. But then you have, okay, I done went somewhere else and I can't explain it like Dr. Umar. So let me just play his video. Let me stop.
Those children might be forever traumatized by what they saw. Post-traumatic stress disorder is real. Post-traumatic stress disorder is real. And I don't want to see no black woman traumatized. I don't want to see no black elders traumatized. I don't want to see no black children traumatized. Stop going to church that do not take your security seriously. Don't go to churches that don't take your security seriously. We are living in an economically desperate time. We have a whole generation.
I just want to say something real quick. I just got up. Okay. Let me just get back to it. I'm just getting a little
of young black men and women. We have a whole generation of young black men and women who don't have a problem killing or stealing. Let me say it again. We got a whole generation of black children who don't have a problem killing or stealing in order to eat to live.
Say it.
And as you saw in Brooklyn today, they are willing to come into your church on Sunday and rob you. They are willing to come into your church on Sunday and rob you. They are willing to come into your church on Sunday and rob you. And I want to say this to the black church. I don't want no harm to come to no church or no church goers, no church leaders. I want you to get security. Stop being so damn cheap. How you got $100,000 car and you ain't got no security in your church? How you living in
Now look, guys, now you have to admit he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth on this with the big old fancy cars and the jets and the planes and stuff like that. He's telling the truth. I haven't been lately, but I remember when, and I go to a First Missionary Baptist church, a big church. You just walk in, but they may have security. They may have security now. But it's a necessity. And he's going to talk about him having security here in a minute. So I don't want to interrupt. Let me get back to it.
A $500,000 home in a white suburb and you ain't got no security for your church. How you got $100,000 Rolex watch? You got on a $100,000 Rolex watch and you ain't got no security? I don't understand this. You got on a $5,000 suit and you ain't got no security. Let me say this.
I don't think my pastor have a pastor.
My security at my events is not there mostly for me. My security at my events is there for the people. Security ain't about you, pastor. Security ain't about you, bishop. Security ain't about you, deacon. Security ain't about you, deaconess. Security.
So right here, guys, he's pretty much chin checking the folk that's running the church. He's chin checking them. It's not about you. It's about the grandmothers and the mothers and the grandmothers, especially that's bringing their grandchildren. It's about the people. It's not about you, pastor, deaconess, deacon. It's about the people. I mean, you can just think, especially when we would have them big revivals, it'd be so many people and no security. I just think back now, no security. You just walk into the church and they passing the baskets around, and when the sermon when they closing that sermon, they get the hooping out and they closing it. Oh, we need 20 more. I'm guilty. I must confess. I have really, when they say we need, I done got my tail up and I done strutted down there and put me another 20 in the basket. I've done it before. I've done it. I have. And you know, what did he say? How did he put it? You know, the sermons, they motivate us. You know, they get us going. Yeah. Just $20 more. Just $20 more.
Is to protect the people who come out to support you. When I go to Toledo, there will be security to protect the people who come to see me. When I go to Cleveland, there will be security there to protect the people who came to see me. Security is to protect the people who come to see you. How you got all this money and all this expensive jewelry and you ain't got no damn security? I thought we learned from Dylan Roof, Charleston, South Carolina, 2015. I thought we learned.
Now I laughed, but he is dead. He is right. How you got all these? You got a Rolex watch and all this jewelry. I think it's $500,000 and no security. But he's going to get to it later in this video, and it's almost over. It was only 30 minutes. I don't want to give it away. Let me just play it. I don't want to give it away.
From Dylan Roof, Charleston, South Carolina, 2015. I thought we learned from Dylan Roof, South Carolina, 2015. Now, let me go deeper. What I'm about to say does not apply to every church. What I'm about to say does not apply to every church. What I'm about to say does not apply to every church. But I do want to say this. You have Black churches that have been pimping the Black community for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Let's be honest. The Black church is
and when he say pimping, now this is just my opinion. I think of things like the pastor's anniversary. We need, my mama had, I gotta pay for my, child, don't you mess with my mama when it comes to her pastor's anniversary. And I've done it too. I put that, I think it was $50 for the pastor's anniversary. I put a $50 bill in and I gave it for the pastor. And that money goes directly to the pastor. I've done it. But I have seen the lights. And I'm not saying that, you know, but I just know that a lot of people in the church, there's a lot of people in the church that may need things, and then sometimes they often struggle. But if my light bill is due, I'm gonna pay my light bill. I'm not gonna give a 50 or whatever to the anniversary. But some people will do that. Is that a form of brainwashing? I don't know.
Multi-billion-dollar institution. We give the Black church $3 billion on average every Sunday.
What?
Excuse me, $3 million. The Black church receives $3 million every Sunday in America, collectively speaking. 50 states, 50 million Africans. 50 states, 50 million Africans. 50 states, 50 million Africans. If we are giving the Black church $3 million every Sunday, and you ain't got no schools, $3 million every Sunday, you ain't got no jobs, $3 million every.
Now y'all gonna tell me that Creflo Dollar and I don't know, some of these other big black somebody should have a school. Long before Dr. Umar, there should have been a school. That's just my opinion. There should have been a school. Let me see. I can't even think of some of these mega pastors, but y'all know who they are. Y'all know who they are. Why is there not a school dedicated to African? I almost said African American. To Africans, young black people. They collect a lot of money. Where does the money truly go? Things that make you go,
Every Sunday, you ain't got no banks. $3 million every Sunday, you ain't got no hospitals. $3 million every Sunday, you ain't got no supermarkets. If the black community is giving the black church $3 million every Sunday, and the black church isn't doing anything for black people, you can make the argument. I'm not making the argument.
yes,
But you can make the argument, and I'm not making the argument.
yes, you are.
You could make the argument that karma is coming to the black church for practicing.
Karma is looping. The chickens are coming home to roost. He's not you can make the argument. He said he's not doing it, but he's speaking it better than anybody I ever heard speak it. Let me go back to it, honey. Let me go back to it.
Capitalism instead of spirituality. I said you can make the argument that karma is coming to the black church because you have been practicing capitalism instead of spirituality. Is karma coming to the black church because you've been practicing capitalism over spirituality? Let's be honest. How many black churches are helping black men get jobs? How many black churches are helping homeless black women find housing? How many black churches are stopping the violence in the neighborhood? How many black churches are helping people build businesses? How many black churches are fighting against racism and systemic oppression? What has the black church done in America since Dr. King? What has the black church done in America since Dr. King? What has the black church done in America?
Now, y'all know he's saying it 3 times so you can remember it. Okay? What has the black church done in America since Dr. King? Listen. Back in the 50s, back in the 50s and 60s, Dr. King and all of that, if you guys think back, you do your research or whatever, and I've said this before on the channel on other videos, black people really came together. I can't imagine, I cannot see nowhere possible where people would actually, if they needed to not take a taxi, a Uber, a Lyft, a bus or whatever, and stand together and boycott all black people and not do it like they did with the buses today, here in this time. It would not happen. It would not happen. There was a time when, it wasn't such, like they say, the crabs in the barrel, when people didn't try to pull each other down like they do now. And that brings me back to how I first, about 2 months ago, started watching Dr. Umar. And it was when the daughter made the video or whatever. Someone sent it to me. And then I just started researching and looking at videos and seeing what he's doing, and then just seeing all of the people coming for him or, talking against him, and why would you confuse if you don't like someone or whatever, or, because no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. Okay. But if someone is doing something good, why are you willing to tear them down and discourage others from helping them? That's just my opinion. Okay. Why would you do that?
Since Dr. King. These young brothers and sisters, what they call them, Generation Z. Somebody help me out. Is this Generation Z?
I don't know.
I think we up these Generation Z. They don't give a damn about what you preaching. They don't give a damn about what you teaching. All they see is the pastor eating, his wife is eating, his family is eating, the bishop is eating, the deacon is eating, and his family is starving. The black church is no longer off limits. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. I don't want to see crime and robbery in the black church. What happened in Brooklyn today was unacceptable. What happened in Brooklyn today was a travesty. No black pastor should be robbed while preaching, but it speaks to the fact. The Brooklyn robbery today in church speaks to the fact that the black church has turned its back on the black community. And because the black church has turned its back on the black community, the children of the community are now targeting the black church.
You know, it's like a scene out of the movie, what was it, First Sunday? Ice Cube. It's gonna rob the church, although it ended differently, but just robbing the church. And I haven't heard of it anymore unless I just missed it. I'm not sure. I don't believe since this video was made, any more black churches have been robbed. I pray. I hope they haven't.
For economic justice. The black church has turned its back on the black community, and now the children of the black community is targeting the black church for economic justice. You better stop coming to church with your Rolex on. You better stop pulling up in a Mercedes. You better stop driving through the hood with a damn Cadillac truck. Them days.
See right here, what he's doing, he's slightly shading those fancy pastors that like to, that's collected all that money and wearing those fancy watches and driving. He's shading. He's letting them know. He's shading them, in my opinion. But it's for a good reason. He's doing it for a good reason, I think.
Is over. The pastor is no longer safe from community violence. The church is no longer safe from community violence. I'm sorry this is happening. I'm sorry the pastor got robbed. And I'm not judging him because I don't know him, but we all know every city got pastors who are hustling the community. Chicago got pastors hustling the community. Philadelphia has pastors hustling.
Wait a minute. Hustling. So some of these pastors are hustling the community. So if you have become, some members will be in church and, they rent, mortgage, whatever may not be paid, lights maybe off or whatever. And the pastor is still hustling. And I've witnessed where let me stop. I don't want to go there. I'm not going to go there.
The community. Los Angeles has pastors hustling the community. Florida, North Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Maryland, Connecticut, New York. Every black community has a handful of parasitic black churches. They exist to exploit the money from the people. You have black churches whose sole purpose.
You know what? Now let me say this real quick. I don't know which video because there's so many, but another one he talked about how when it's election time, and y'all, I've witnessed it. The senators that's running for state senator, the local, they'll come to the church and they'll be up in the pulpit and they'll get up and speak. They'll come only around election time. So the church is political. He's not lying. And I know a lot of you all know this, but because you don't like him or you're jealous of him, because you're jealous of him, you want to deny that some of the things he's saying is truth and factual. But I've been in church on that Sunday before the Tuesday election when the person running for office comes in and gets to go up in the pulpit and speak to us. Speak to the congregation.
Is to get as much money as they can. And the children of the 21st century, Generation Z, the millennials, they are ready to collect. Brooklyn is only the beginning. And I'm telling black women right now, I'm telling black elders, don't take your children to church if there's no serious security. You cannot afford to go to church if there is no serious security. You cannot go. And I want to fault every pastor in America. I'm going to fault every black pastor in America who is asking black people to come worship in your church. And you don't even care enough about those black people you're asking to come worship in your church to have security for them. If I can have security at my events for the people who come out to support me, you can have security in your church for the people who come out to support you. And you getting way more money than I am. It is no excuse for a black church not to be serious about protecting the life and safety of the black people who come out to support them. The black church is no longer off limits. That pastor got robbed for almost $500,000 in jewelry.
That's too much money.
It's a new day in black America. Y'all better start locking the front doors.
But what pastor, who wearing $500,000 of jewelry to the church house? I wear costume jewelry. I'm a simple girl, okay? Woo.
To the church, you better start locking the back doors of the church, because let me tell you, and again, I'm going to thank those brothers, not for robbing the pastor, but I'm going to thank them for not harming the congregation, because you know what they could have did? Thank God they didn't. But do you know what they could have did? Thank God they didn't. But do you know what they could have did? They could have robbed everybody inside the church. They didn't have to stop at the pastor. They did not have to stop at the pastor. They could have robbed every elder, every mother, every father. They could have took the Jordans off your children's feet, your daughter's earrings out of her ear. They could have robbed the whole damn church. Stop going to church if there is no security. Stop going to church if there is no security.
Now, I bet some of them mega pastors didn't like him telling people stop going to church, because if they don't go to church, they may not pay their tithes. Although some people will still mail in their tithes and offerings. But you know what? Because he talks about how the church is just becoming, I think he's going to get to it later, a business. You know, and I guess ATMs in the church and all of that stuff. I just think they're doing too much. They're doing too much.
And I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Go. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Somebody inside the church I got the feeling that some of these church robberies are set up from the inside. I think there's an inside man working with the goons to get these black churches robbed. I think there's I
don't mean to laugh when he say goons, But y'all, I mean, it's not a far-fetched idea because who, the deacons, the person that's close to the pastor, his right-hand man. Okay, around about this time, everything will be, but if they didn't have security, I really don't want to think that someone in the church would help set up a pastor to be robbed. But it's not impossible. It could happen. But I would hope that it wouldn't. Because the deacons, they, allegedly, suppose the deacons run the church really. They're really, the deacons can come together and vote out the pastor. I've been at a church when they voted out my pastor, and I really liked that pastor that they voted out. I've had to go through that. He may have been pipping the church. I don't know.
Inside man working with the goon squad to get these churches robbed. Oh, yes.
The goon squad.
Oh, yes. See, people are losing their respect for the black church because everybody sees that the black church is a business.
Yeah,
people are losing their respect for the black church because everybody sees that the black church is now a business. When Dr. King was around, black church was a service. When Nat Turner was around, black church was a service. When Frederick Douglass was pastoring up in New York, black church was a service. When Bishop Turner was around, black church was a service. Black church is no longer a service. Black church is a business. Black church is no longer about spirituality. Black church is about capitalism. So the way these young brothers are looking at the church, they like, that's not God in there. How can that be God house? How can that be God house when everybody in his neighborhood is broke, hungry, and unemployed? But the pastor living good, his family living good, his son living good, his wife living good, the people on the choir living good, the deacons is living good, the bishops is living good, and I'm living in hell? How can
Wait a minute, did he come for the choir? Don't come for the choir.
that be God's house? That ain't God's house. That's a house of hypocrisy.
Woo!
In fact, the way
he said the church was a house of hypocrisy. Oh, I know them pastors was mad at him.
They see it, the way they see it, they think they're doing God a service by robbing the black church. Listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
Understand, overstand, and understand. You got these young folks, they like, wait a minute. If that church is full of hypocrites, if that church is full of hypocrites, if that church is full of people who claim to be doing God's work and all they doing is robbing the poor, if that church is full of people who claim to be doing God's work and all they do is rob the poor, maybe I'm doing God a service by going in there and robbing the church. Maybe God wants me to go in there and rob this den of thieves.
Woo!
They say there's no honor amongst thieves. So if the pastor is a thief, if the preacher is a thief, if the bishop is a thief, if the deacon is a thief.
Is it safe to say that he was letting the church, them folk know that, hey, I think you're stealing from your congregation. You're taking their money. You're taking their hard-earned money. And you're buying Rolexes and jets and planes and all that stuff. Oh my God. Oh, I bet I hate I didn't see this when it first came out. I bet they was mad at him.
I'm not disrespecting the churches who do God's work.
Okay.
I'm not disrespecting the churches who do God's work. I'm not disrespecting the churches who do God's work. I'm saying for the hypocritical churches, for the hypocritical churches, for the hypocritical churches who talk Jesus, but they only care about money. For the hypocritical church, that a den of thieves cannot be a sanctuary of God. A den of thieves cannot be a sanctuary of God. A den of thieves cannot be a sanctuary of God. And so all I'm saying is if your church is a den of thieves, if your church is a den of thieves, if what you got came from stealing from black folks, if what the black church has came from stealing from black folks, if what the pastor has came from stealing from black folks, what do you say?
So if a pastor, you know, his only job is, you know, is the pastor, but you know, then sometimes their wives may have a job or whatever, but if they're able to wear Rolexes and all of this, is it coming directly from the money that the members of the church are giving? And is that, well, I don't know I wouldn't call it stealing, I guess, if they're giving it willingly, but is it manipulation? Is it truly a den of thieves? I know they was mad at him.
To a group of young brothers who hungry, got kids to feed, who say if they stole it from the community, why can't I go steal it back and feed my family? If the black church stole their money from our community, how am I wrong to go into the church and steal it back? I ain't shoot nobody. I ain't stab nobody. I ain't punch nobody. I ain't stomp nobody. All I did was say, get down and lay down. In fact, you know what they call it? They don't call it robbery. They call it reparations. They don't call it robbery. They call it reparations. They don't call it robbery when they go into the black church. They call it spiritual reparations. The black church been robbing black folks since Dr. King died, ain't been doing nothing for the black community. So these brothers are coming in to get their spiritual reparations from the den of thieves. I don't support it. I don't encourage it. I don't condone it. But what I am saying,
I understand it.
It's a new day for the black church. The black church better check itself. The black church had better check itself, had better get some security. And I'm telling all my beautiful African sisters and elders, do not go to church if they do not value your security. Do not go to church if they do not value your life. Do not take your children to church unless you are absolutely certain that you're going to get out of there and your children are going to get out of there safe.
Okay, Dr. Umar.
I'm not judging nobody. I'm just only telling the truth.
He ain't judging nobody. He said he not judging nobody. He was only telling the truth as he sees it, as he believes it, as he feels it. Okay? He ain't judging nobody. But how you as a pastor gonna roll up to the church house in your Cadillac Escalade or whatever you might be driving, okay? Your Hummer. Okay, I don't know what you're driving. With the $100,000. Well, what does a pastor need with a $100,000? What does a good old Southern Baptist preacher need with a $100,000 watch? But I'm not here to. That's not my business. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Listen, I don't know if you guys totally understood the message, but I understood the message. Some of them pastors be a little shady. They be a little shady. And allegedly, possibly, it could be an inside job if somebody's just able to walk in and come up to the pulpit and rob the pastor. Okay, I want to go out with something. What do I want to go out with? He has so much to choose from. I need to make it good. Let me see. Well, I kind of want to show you guys. Hold on. Y'all know I have to get all this stuff together. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Thank y'all for waiting. Listen, so what I'm gonna do before I go, I just want to show y'all. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. I have to work. Got to get up early in the morning. This is the video I am going to review because, like I said, I was watching him on Nick Cannon. It popped up, and Nick Cannon asked him, when did this all start? How did it happen? He said it can be traced back to the 2010 video he did in Chicago. Shout out to my brothers in the Chi-Town. I got 4 of them there. Okay. So I went and I typed in Dr. Umar's first. Anyway, I found it. And y'all, the man that he interviewed with has since passed on, transitioned. He died of cancer, I believe. You know what? I don't know what I was doing. How did I miss all this? Because I'm a type of a person that I'm normally out there. I've volunteered. I've done a lot of. I don't know how I missed this, but I know now. Okay, so let me show y'all. Let me show you real quick. This is Dr. Umar's. This is just real quick. This is the video that he credits as to when people really became aware of him, when he was invited to go to Chicago and be on this show with Yah is Real. Like I say, he has passed on. I'm just gonna show you guys just a little bit. And this was in 2010, and this is 2025. So this is about 15 years ago. His youngest daughter is 13, 14. So this is what he looked like when the evil vegan had him. Okay. Now we know what her problem was. Okay.
Shalom, my name is Brother Dawa Bain Israel, and I am the host of the Yah is Real Hour. And the title of this show today is going to be What's Going On. We're going to be talking about the situation in the schools, what's going on with our children. I have a brother here, guest, who flew in all the way from Philly, Dr. Umar Abdullah Johnson. He's a nationally known psychologist. He's here with me today. I want to welcome the brother.
Thank you very much.
Look at Dr. Umar without his, okay, and that's all I'm going to show because I'm going to review this. I'm going to do this. That was Dr. Umar when his first interview that really, put him on the stage when a lot of people found out about him. But I kind of like him more so with without the hair, but who am I? All right, guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Make sure you like this video, thumbs it up, and share it out. Okay. It wasn't a lot of you in here, but I bet you're going to come in and start watching it, and the views will go up, and I appreciate it. All right. See y'all later.